Our next speaker is Iain, who is both the IB director for Yushen Education Group, and he's the Western principal of Shanghai Liaoyuan Bilingual School. So Iain, I don't believe I'm not sure if we've met in person before, but I've certainly known of you and known of Shanghai Liaoyuan School. We were both part of the Shanghai United kind of network before, and I've heard great things about you from everyone through that. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. I'm sure it's going to be great quality. So I'll unmute you here, and I'll bring up your slides for you if that's how you'd like to work it.
Good luck there, Alex. I thought, well, you know, since all the teachers have actually been upskilling themselves recently with Zoom, with different platforms, etc., I would actually try and do it myself. So yesterday, I was frantically making a video, a PPT with videos embedded in it, which was wonderful because it added great stress to my life. So now I know exactly how all the teachers on here are actually feeling. Now, I have taken this PPT from a different angle, if you like. Now, from what Michael, Sean and Zoe have said, which has all been wonderful and extremely relevant, you know, very much from an admin point of view. Now, I've been very hands-on with the teachers on this because it's been very much a collaborative IB approach to how we have done this within the school. So what I really want to show you today is not how we started, but what we actually do, okay, to make it more engaging and more relevant. Now, as an IB school, authorized IB school also, you know, one of the big things that we wanted to do, and I see in the group chat that Jess from Shanghai United International School also wrote, was about student agency and student voice. Zoe, you mentioned that in your presentation. And, you know, that is one of the big things that we've also included within the school. Now, for people here who are from China, you know, we've been running online learning for weeks. It has been stressful to the max. You know, we've had teachers crying, and I think this is where one of the big things is make sure you look after your community. You look after your teachers, you look after the students, you look after the parents, and also as admin, you look after yourself. Because, you know, a lot of the time as an admin group, we forget to actually look after our own well-being as well. So that is very, very important. Now, when we started originally, we didn't jump in. We planned which platforms we were actually going to use. And for the primary school, we decided on 2 platforms, CC Talk and Zoom, which would be the main teaching model, which would then be enhanced with other more pastoral, like Class Dojo, which could be used for positive management, and Zoom also for additional slots where the teachers would just make themselves free for a chat, which I know other schools are doing with what they're doing. Okay, next slide, please, Alex. Okay, so very, very clear. The 3 points we're going to look at is CC Talk, which is a wonderful bilingual platform, which you can get in Chinese and English, but can actually also be changed to other languages as well. So it can actually be used globally around the world. And how we've actually used that to actually enhance the teaching and learning within the school. Zoom. Now, we've used Zoom in a very different way. So we've used that to actually promote student agency, student empowerment. Now, for UPYP people here online, that will be voice, choice, and ownership for the new enhanced PYP. And, you know, actually having kids control their own learning or be in charge of their own learning is really significant. So we have actually had like student council, or we've had the house captains, or other grades actually every week or twice a week actually present to the whole school, which has been a wonderful thing to actually keep kids engaged, but also have them empowered as well. And then finally, some of the challenges I think that we've all had. Now, of course, Alex used to work in Shanghai United, Jess, who's on here as well. So I still meet a lot of the principals from Shanghai. We have another IB school next door, World Foreign Language School. And So we've been meeting up quite a lot online to talk about the challenges that we've actually faced within the school. So as I said, when we started up, we picked the 2 platforms that we were actually going to use after all the leadership team came back from their holidays early. So I arrived back in Shanghai on the 2nd of February, which was probably good because Scotland was shut down on the 3rd. So I just managed to get back to Shanghai in time, which gave us time before the teachers came back to pick those platforms. We also gave the teachers time to actually, we trained them up on that as well, because we learned it first. We trained the teachers. So again, it was very much that collaborative approach to what we were actually doing. And then the teachers trained the kids. Now, of course, one of the issues which Sean also mentioned was the timetable. We started again the Mamalai slowly approach to the timetable. So in the first week, we did 2 hours a day. In the second week, we did 3 hours. And now we're on full timetable. And we've been running full timetable for quite a long time. So in the next slide, Alex, you will see 2 examples of the timetable. Okay, so within the timetable here, we have actually not changed our timetable at all. It's exactly as it is in school. But what you'll see, the one on the left there, there's certain times for pastoral care, for student well-being, where the teacher's online, when they're actually free, you know, just have a chat. So the kids don't have to be there. It's optional to really check on the well-being of the kids. The other one on the right is grade 5. And you'll see that they're using Zoom a lot more than the other grades. And the reason behind that is, of course, the IBPYP exhibition's coming up. The schools are trying to figure out how to actually plan that online. So we're using the Zoom chat groups to actually get groups together to actually get which issue they're going to look at. But also what they can do in grade 5, it's more empowerment to the kids. So, you know, we're setting up sessions for UOI, Unit of Inquiry, where the kids are running the lessons. And for English, where the kids are running the lessons to the grade 1s or grade 2s. So it's really trying to get the whole school community to work together. Now, on the next slide is a video, okay? And it's actually a grade 2 teacher who was actually teaching in Australia when she filmed this. Now she's back. What I will say is the annotation that you see on here, now this is CC Talk, okay? The annotation is done by the teacher because what you don't see is the kids typing in. They can type in their answers here, or they can actually also put their hand up, raise their hand, and the teacher will unmute their microphone and then they'll give the answer. So let's watch the video. Well, Alex, you haven't hit the sound button. So Alex, when you, I knew this was a challenge. It took me an hour yesterday to figure out how to do it. Alex, at the top of the screen, you'll have the dots go down.
Yeah, Hello, my name is Sade and I'm a grade 2 homeroom teacher at Liaoyuan Bilingual School, and this is my online learning classroom, so welcome. This is the program we have been using called CC Talk, where we have been doing all our live interactive classes. So
we knew we were going to have some technical difficulties in that. That's okay, because what we can actually do.
So I teach Unit of Inquiry as well as English because we're bilingual school. So this is where the students can talk, ask questions, watch videos and other materials that I provide them with. They can also use this chat to ask me questions, share their homework that other students have done here. I can provide them with feedback, and they can also put their hand up and talk to ask questions to me and the other students. So today I would like to take you to some of my classes so you can see how it all works with the online learning and what we're doing up.
Hello, good morning still to our busy class. Today our 11 o'clock class we are going to be doing UOI, and last week we learned a lot about terms. So we're going to do a quick recap quiz. Hopefully it'll be a bit of fun. And then we'll get something brand new learning for this week. So you can either call out the answer or type it in the line, in the chat. Okay. Shape of the earth. True or false? The earth is flat. That is correct. It is C. It is false. The earth is actually what shape? You can call out the answer. Good. Yeah. Who can pronounce this word? It's actually one of our spelling words. Can you read that first, Kevin? What is the shape of the earth actually called? Sphere. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. How many seasons are top your hand up? Well. Ooh, people coming in hot with the number 4. Alan. Spring. Summer. Perfect. Boom. Alright. Name one of the layers of the earth. So there are a number of layers in the earth. You just have to try and name one. Oh, there are, and you can type in how many layers there are as well. Right. I'll go to Shani. What's one of the layers? Crust. Nice. Alan, give me another one. Mantle. Good. Fantastic. Kevin, give me another one. Oh, you guys are good. Alright, Alan, give me another one. So we've got a 5. So we've got how we went. So these are all the possible answers. So you were correct if you get 5. Again, big class, amazing effort. Now you are ready to learn about the basic bits. Mine.
Okay, so that was actually an example of a class from grade 2. Now they're young kids, yeah? And you can see how engaged they actually were as well. Now, for me, there are 2 big things that actually happened there. One was the preparation that the teacher did, which was incredible, you know, and I know that, you know, online teaching is making teachers cry, because it's actually a lot more work than actually doing it collaboratively or doing it in the classroom. So that's one of the big stresses, but also the passion of the teacher as well. You know, teaching is like being on stage, and it's no different being on camera. And you have to remember that, you know, one thing you miss is that emotion that you get from the kids within the classroom, but you can still get that if you actually infuse them online also. Now, with the next video, all we're going to do is just show you a bit of it. So Alex, we're not going to watch the whole thing, but it just to show you how we use students about, oh, not the same video, about how we do student agency, empower kids. So please, Alex.
Okay, hello Green Team. How are you? Okay, I'm here to talk about homework. 47 years ago, I had a dream. I had a dream that the ballot was stronger than the bullet, the pen mightier than the sword. And I've been to the mountaintop. I can prove you this. Do not think what your school can do for you. Think what you can do for your school. That relates to the topic we're going to talk about today, homework. Okay, why do we have to talk about homework? Because actually homework isn't what you think it is. Homework is actually very important, and it plays an important role in life. Why? You might ask this. Yeah, I'm prepared to because I know the answer exactly to your problem. It's a review. It's a review for what you learned today. After a day of busy school, then you go home where you don't practice anything, and as all children want to do, play. Homework shows that you did some study at home, you reviewed what you learned today, and you're ready to proceed to learn new things tomorrow. Okay, hello.
Now, he does it in Chinese afterwards as well. So it's really impressive because it's bilingual. And it totally shows student empowerment and student agency. Now, with that, the brief that I gave to the house captains, he's one of the Green Team house captains, was that you just need to make a speech. It can be about anything that you want. So he decided to do it on homework. And, you know, he got no help from the classroom teacher, no help from anyone else. That video has not been edited at all. You know, and the wonderful thing, that's been shown to the whole school and also shared through our WeChat account as well. So it's the great thing about getting the kids involved within the school as well. Also the administration. So, for example, last week, one of the grade 5s were doing the weekly boring spelling test. And I turned up in the class and I challenged the teacher to a spelling test as well. And it was just fun, you know, because the kids need to see that everybody is involved within the school community. It's not just the teachers, you know, so principals should be in there also. So the last one I'm going to show you, video, before I go into a bit more of what we're doing in the school, is a very short, because we're going to cut it short, Zoom video, okay? And again, this is a grade 5 class. And what you'll see is it's very loud, it's very interactive. Now, this is how the teacher normally teaches within his class. So it's actually quite impressive how he's managed to transfer that relationship to online also. Okay, Alex. Still smiling.
Right, what was the next word?
Thought.
How do we spell thought?
T-H-O-U-G-H-T.
Yeah. Thought is the past, present, or future tense of what?
Think.
Yeah.
Think. Past tense of think.
Past tense of think. Yeah.
tense.
So what is a silent letter in thought?
G.
Just
G.
G?
G-H. G-H.
G-H.
Yeah.
Thought.
G-H.
T-H-O-U-T. Thought. Yeah, it would be G-H. Right, what's our next word?
Doubt.
I doubt that. I really
D-O-U-G-T.
surely it's not.
D-O-U-B-T.
Yeah.
D-O-U-B-T.
D-O-U-B-T.
Yeah.
What's our silent letter in that?
B.
I lost my B.
It's a B. Yeah.
And the last word is cough.
Cough.
C-O-U-G-T.
G-H. Cough.
Yes.
Oh, Tina's going, oh my goodness.
So of course, you have got the 9. Yeah.
Right, okay guys. So, I would like to have a thumbs up if you got more than 6 correct.
Of
Thumbs up
course.
and keep your thumb up. Don't take it away. Keep your thumb up if you got more than 6 correct.
I will
More than
keep it.
6.
Okay.
Cool. Well
We need
done.
to point it at all.
All right.
Yeah. Keep
Awesome. So, if you got less than 6 correct, practice your words tonight because we're going to do them again tomorrow.
Okay. So that was a very, very loud class. Many admin on here would probably go, good God. But, you know, what I love about that is, and Zoe, of course, we're both in China. You know, we've been doing online learning for weeks now. So to actually, you know, still have that momentum and actually have the kids actually, you know, being so upbeat and positive is actually a great, great thing. Now, I've also seen other classes by this teacher where he actually still mutes the microphone and lets the kids put their hand up. So it depends on the lesson. It depends what you want from the lesson as well. Now, you'll see that by using these different platforms as well, it's giving teachers and students choice. So it's allowing them to actually control their own learning and the kids to control their own learning as well. So that's been a very big thing. Now, to the difficulties. One of the difficulties, oh dear, one of the difficulties, of course, that we have had is it's very time consuming. So the teachers have found it extremely difficult to plan, you know, for a full day. Yes, we're still in collaboration online. Yes, we're trying to limit screen time, but it is difficult because we're a private school. Most of your private schools on here, you know, parents are asking for refunds. They're not going to get it because actually, in fact, teachers are putting more work into this than they actually are into the normal day-to-day teaching. It's a totally different thing. I think as one of the benefits of the online teaching is that teachers are upskilling themselves. They're learning new skills which are transferable back into the classroom once they go back into the classroom, hopefully soon. For those schools who haven't started online learning, make sure you have a clear plan. Make sure you know the direction that you're going to take this with the teachers also. Make sure that you have student agency. Make sure you have the pastoral care and well-being there also. That would be my advice. The pictures that you see on the screen here are, you know, 2 Zoom pictures on the left there. You'll see the one on the bottom is with me in it for the spelling test, which was great fun. I asked the grade 5 teacher to spell onomatopoeia, and he failed miserably on that one, which was great. And the other 2 on the right show you an example of the Timetable, you know, which can be, as Jess put in the chat box, done in Chinese and in English. So that is everything from me. Mine shows a practical side to what's actually happening within schools, or what you can use. I know that many schools are using different platforms. I know there was a big worry for us in China when we all started at the same time that all the platforms would collapse and the internet would collapse as well. So I think this is why, you know, everyone had a backup as well. So thank you again for listening to me today. And I know that the next speaker, I come from Scotland, the next speaker comes also from that part of the world, who's Irish, who's Brian from Xi'an, who's also a dear friend of mine. I think everyone, all the speakers are actually related somehow in this group. So thank you again, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much.